Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Wonder Woman issue number 56. This is part 4 of The Witching Hour, this nice crossover comic book that's just killing it, man. This is an amazing storyline. Okay, so let's get talking about who wrote this comic book, who made this comic book, so we can talk about the epicness of this comic in and of itself. Okay, so The Witching Hour, part 4. James Tynion IV, writer. Emanuela Lupacchino on pencils. Ray McCarthy on inks. Romulo Fayaro Jr. on colors. David Yardin does the cover, and the variant cover is done by Jenny Friesen. Okay. Wonder Woman was created by William Moulton Marston and H.G. Peter, DC Comics. Is there some legal reason why you can't mention H.G. Peter? Say it with me, DC Comics. H.G. Peter. Listen, I've done a little research myself, and I know that William Moulton Marston didn't draw Wonder Woman. That was this guy called H.G. Peter. Say it with me and write it in the freaking book. Give him a little bit of credit. You know who else deserves credit? I'm sitting here looking through the book, and I see a whole bunch of words, man. See all these words? There's lots of words in this comic book. Who was the letterer who wrote this, dude? DC, you're slipping. You're slipping. What's going on, brah? What's going on, bruh? Maybe it's just me, except that it's not. Fix yourself, man. Anyway, aside from that, this is a freaking awesome comic book, man. This is an awesome comic book. You're actually going to have Witchfire, who, you know, most people don't know about her. And you know how I know that? Because I don't know anything about her. I know almost nothing about this character. I know she's appeared before. Can't tell you a single storyline that she's in without being reminded of it. But whatevs, man. But she's sitting here, and she is actually a part of magic. Some people might be like, yeah, but she didn't really know that much about magic. But she's also talking to Wonder Woman. See, here's the funny thing. I've played the DC Universe game before, DCU Online it was called. I played it before. Haven't played it in forever, and I really should because, oh my god, I did really love the game. It just got redundant after a while. But the point is that Wonder Woman was the character who was basically your guide if you chose a magic-using character, and I always found that to be funny because they just needed to use the big three. You know, Superman for the super characters, Batman for the detective-type characters, the street-level guys, and the magic-using characters were done by Wonder Woman. Have to use the big three, except... No. Wonder Woman does not know pretty much anything about magic except for what she's been told because she's never really, not really practiced magic. Just because she's a being of magic, just because she's being created by magic. No, that's not the way it works. So they've been mentioning it all throughout, and in this issue, it really comes to bear, and it's really awesome. Okay, there's an awakening moment that Wonder Woman finally realized it of herself, and that's usually the best version is when you, not when you're told something, but rather when you realize it on your own. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have that about her. And Wonder Woman is not known for having a whole lot of pride, you know? Honor, yes, but not a whole lot of pride. She's not a big egocentrical type person. You know what I'm saying? You could tell her she's wrong, and she'll say how or why. She's not just going to be like, what are you she's not Lex Luthor. She's not Cersei. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Lex, Cersei, and the Joker being the other three characters who would guide you if you were an evil character in the DCU Online. So, anyway, man, this, wow. So, I'm going to say that John Constantine really comes into his own, and in one of the best ways you can imagine, because Zatanna slaps him in the face. John has always just, you know, blah, 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 because that's what he usually does. He's the guy who's always talking because that's his trick, all right? John isn't the type who, you know, like Zatanna, she knows, and most other magicians know, that the art of prestidigitation has to do with, you know, look what's happening with this hand. Oh, it's actually with this hand that it's happening. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, there's a little disguise that'll be used, all right? John Constantine has done the same thing, except that he uses his mouth as the distraction. You know, that's always been his game. And I love that about the character. I've always loved that about the character. But at this particular point, Zatanna was just like, shut up. Bam! Just backhanded him. You know, keeping her pimp hand strong, man. Whew, Zatanna. Bang! And Constantine finally breaks down and explains what's what. And I dug this. I'm hoping to have a more a more vulnerable John Constantine, because John has been made so powerful over time that it's kind of ridiculous. With him not having the demon blood right now, I think that we could be in for the best Hellraiser comic books possibly ever. Possibly, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. That's all a matter of opinion. Art is subjective, right? But there's a possibility that we're going to go back to having some amazing freaking John Constantine comics again. In the meantime, all the other characters are engaged in something crazy. There's nutso stuff going on. DC, can we talk about being obnoxious at this point? What is this? Bendis is coming. Then Bendis is here. And now, Superman, he's on Superman. Oh, he's on Man of Steel. Oh, he's on this. Oh, he's on that. Oh, Man of Steel is now on, trade paperback. Dude, do you really need 2 issues for this? Or 2 pages for this? I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. This old trope. Treating Brian Michael Bendis like Jack Kirby. Come on, man. I get it, but at the same time, I'm waiting one of these days for all of a sudden, Brian Michael Bendis is in the bathroom, and here's a double-page spread of the Bendis turd. Like, what the frick? DC, come on, man. Love you guys, but can we stop? If you feel the need to keep doing this, okay. It makes my book look a little bit bigger. It makes my DC comic book look a little bit thicker than the Marvel comic book. We're talking about magic right here, so I get the whole art of the illusion, all right? I get it. But, whatevs, man. Either way, I feel that you're going to learn more about magic in the DC universe than in any other book currently in print right now. And probably in the past, probably since Rebirth. Like, this is, and that, yes, that includes the Trinity storylines. Wow, man, this is such an amazing issue. This issue is an amazing issue, especially for a penultimate issue where it's almost like they're just supposed to be like, oh, here's the big buildup. But no, this actually leaves some pretty lasting consequences because there's all this other stuff going on. But the thing is, all this crazy stuff going on, Zatanna showing up, Detective Chimp doing his thing, along with Man-Bat, and all, and the big problem that freaking Swamp Thing is having right now. Wrong character. All these crazy things that are going on with these other 3 characters also. Witchfire, Black Orchid, Manitou Biso, I think her name is. Dude, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. But that's the thing. All of that is the illusion. You want to know the real stuff that's going on? The stuff that's happening right here. On the moon? Question mark at the end of that. All right? That's where the real story is happening. This is, in my opinion, James Tynion IV's. I wouldn't say like, the epitomis, eponymous. I think it's epitomis. You know what? I've written that word so many times I've never actually had to say it. I don't think, obviously. But, dude, this is one of those things where if you want to show people James Tynion IV's, James Tynion IV, I don't know how you pronounce his name, his art, or, his writing, this is probably the comic to go to. This is a really great comic where you can say, oh, you've never experienced James Tynion IV's writing before? Take this comic book. This is part 4 of 5. Yeah, no, don't worry about that. Just read this. And I think that they could get it. You want to have them read the whole chapter, the whole trade paperback, whatever, but this is his writing just magnified, personified, made real. This is awesome. I love this. Absolutely love this comic book. And now I can't wait. More than ever, I can't wait for the next issue, which should be out next week. So I don't have to wait very long. Yay me. Yay us. I'm not going to spoil that ending, man. But it indicates some seriously long-lasting stuff for Wonder Woman, which is interesting because this is the final issue before G. Willow Wilson takes over. She's the creator, not the creator, but she's the person who wrote for Kamala Khan. Think all this time? Yeah, which is pretty sick, man. I'm just saying, like, here's this writer, and a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this stuff. Stop. Shh. Too much noise. Too much noise in your head. Put it all aside. Let me try and fix those expectations for you, all right? G. Willow Wilson is this person, this human being And she came along and she took an unknown character. I'm not talking about a character who's just slipped through the... No. A brand new, unknown character. And worked her through this huge system, Marvel, one of the big two, all right? During this time, mind you, when a whole bunch of great characters were already in existence and new ones were being filed in immediately after her. Thor was being changed to a woman, at and after this time. Wow, everything went crazy, man. Everything went crazy in Marvel. And she took this new character and made her into not quite a household name, but close enough to being a household name. She brought in a whole new group, a whole new dynamic of people into the comic book realm, made more people fans of comic books, increased sales for an already huge company. She took all new generations of people, a whole new generation, but different demographics of people. And she wrote this comic book so that old fans, new fans, casual fans, anybody could read this comic book and say, this is actually really good. So that's with a completely unknown brand new character. What can she do with one of the oldest original female superheroes in the business? Oh, I can't wait to find out. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.